Hi everyone, this is Babaiah, Assistant Professor of EC Department from MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today I am going to explain about advantages and disadvantages and differences between the open loop and closed loop control systems. In previous lesson or previous lecture, we have learned what is the meaning of system, control system and types of systems and classification of systems based on the input signal, based on the inputs based on the inputs and outputs or number of inputs and outputs, and based on the feedback path. All the type of or we learn for the previous sessions. For today's session, we are going to learn what are the advantages or what are the disadvantages of open loop control system and closed loop control system, and the differences between the open loop and closed loop control system. Let's move on to the overview of this today session. Just here observe what are the advantages and disadvantages of open loop control system, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of closed loop control system. What are the differences between open loop and closed loop control systems? Now let us move on to the advantages and disadvantages of open loop control system. Just here observe the open loop control systems are simple and economical. Why that open loop control systems are simple and economical means, in open loop control systems are only, this is the advantages of open loop control systems here. First one is the simple and economical. Simple means the open loop control systems are less number of elements for the design. Less number of elements are used to design the open loop control system. Just a simple input and directly given to the system, and finally we get the output. This is the simple elements are there, so that's why this is the simple. The open loop control systems are design is simple, and the construction also very easy. The next point is the easier to construct, so that's why in open loop control system we have to use less number of elements are used to design the open loop control system. That's why this is the simple and easier to construct, and as well as this is the economical. This is the economical means here for this open loop control system design we are going to spend the amount is very less compared to the closed loop control system. Means here we are using only less number of elements are used for design of the open loop control system. That's why this is the simple of the open loop control system and economical, and as well as easier to construct. And coming to the third point is the open loop control systems are stable. The open loop control systems are stable means here only input is given to the system, directly we get the output. The based on the characteristics of the open loop control system, it will produces the output. What we are giving the input, based on the characteristics of the outputs, characteristics of the control system, it will produce an output. This is the simple way or simply. So that's why we will get the stable systems. Almost or most of the open loop systems are all stable systems. Here next coming to the disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages are occur by using the open loop control systems. While observing here, the open loop control system produces the inaccurate outputs, but they are not giving the accurate outputs compared to the closed loop control systems. Here just these are the inaccurate outputs, means the open loop control systems produces the inaccurate output, means we are getting the some errors. By using the open loop control system we are getting the errors, but that errors are not going to corrected automatically. Here the next point is the changes in the output. The changes in the output due to external disturbances are not corrected automatically. These two are the main disadvantages of open loop control system, and these three are the main advantages of open loop control system. Here just the open loop control system, it is a very easy and simple and also economical systems, and these systems are stable systems, And also some of the disadvantages is here. This open loop control system produces the inaccurate outputs, and if there any errors are there, that errors are not going to corrected automatically. So that's why these two are the disadvantages of open loop control system. Next, coming to the closed loop control system, advantages and disadvantages of closed loop control system. Here observe, one is the while we are going to use the closed loop control system, we are getting the accurate output. Means here when we are using the closed loop control system, it has a feedback. For example, input signal is given to the some control system, that system output, again the part of the output is given to the input. Here the error detector is there. So this type here feedback elements are there. So this way the input is given to control system, but the output, what we are getting, the output errors are there, any external errors are there, that errors are going to again given to the input as the control system or controller, and finally we will get the accurate output. So that's why the closed loop control systems are the accurate outputs, or produces the accurate outputs. And next, coming to the second one, the closed loop control systems are less affected by noise. Less affected by noise means here, if any noise or error is there in output, that noise or errors are automatically going to rectified by using the closed loop control system. So that's why the closed loop control systems are less affected by noise, and they produce the accurate output. These two are the advantages. And coming to the third one is, here observe, the accurate even in non-linear systems. Here observe, even in non-linear systems or non-linear systems, the closed loop control systems are produces the accurate output. When the for linear systems as well as non-linear systems, the closed loop control systems are produces the accurate output signals or accurate outputs. So that's why we are going to use this closed loop control system for linear systems as well as non-linear systems, because of they will produce the accurate outputs. So this is the very this one is the advantage of closed loop control system. And next, coming to the fourth point, here observe just the sensitivity of the system may be small to make the system more stable. Means here sensitivity going to be small for making the or for design the more stable system. The sensitivity will be going to the less, but here stable systems purpose we are going to sensitivity is decreases, but stable, but system is getting the more stable. So these are the four advantages of closed loop control system. The first one is this produces the accurate outputs, and the closed loop control systems are less affected by the noise. And for the linear, even in non-linear systems presence is there, any non-linear systems are there, in that condition also the closed loop control systems are produces the accurate output. Next, coming to the here, for more stable systems we are going to get the sensitivities less or else small. These four are the main advantages of closed loop control system. And coming to the disadvantages of closed loop control system, here just observe, the closed loop systems are complex and costly. Means here for this closed loop control system we are going to use the more number of elements. For example, here I am going to apply the input signal and here apply the some error detector. Again that error detector produce the error signal. That error signal is given to the controller, and that controller produces the activating signal or error or control signal. That signal is given to plant or else process that finally give the output. but some part of the output is again given to the feedback through the feedback elements. Feedback elements. The output is given the input to the feedback elements. The feedback elements produces the feedback signal. The signal is again given to the input of the system. Here just observe any system. This feedback signal is again given to the input of the system. Here we are going to use the more number of elements are there. Here more number of elements are there. Just here observe. So here the input signal given to error detector. Again I am drawing here. Just observe. This produce given to the controller and process or else plant. And finally produces the output. Some of the amount of output is given as the input through the feedback element. This is the feedback elements. So this is, we are going to use here more number of elements for design of the any closed loop control system. That's why this is the design of the closed loop control system is complex, and the design of the closed loop control system we need to spend the more amount. So that's why this is the costly. The closed loop control systems are complex and costly. Based on this design and based on the, we are going to use the more number of elements compared to the open loop control system. And next coming to this one is the disadvantages of closed loop control system. And coming to the next one, the second one is here observe, the feedback reduces the overall gain of the system. Just here observe, here feedback is available. In closed loop control system feedback is there. So by using this feedback, the overall transfer function or else overall gain going to reduced. So that's why that one is the disadvantage. When we are going to use the closed loop control system, we will get the reduced gain or else we will get the less gain. So that's why that one is the drawback of closed loop control system. And next, third one is coming to here. Third one, the stability is a major problem in closed loop control system. So that's why we are going to take, we are going to design any closed loop control system. We need to take the more care of the closed loop systems for maintain the stable of the system. Just here observe, the stability is a major problem in a closed loop control system, and more care is needed to design a stable closed loop system. For stable closed loop system, we need to more care for design of any closed loop system for maintain the stability of the system. That is the major problem in closed loop control system. That's why these three are the disadvantages of closed loop control system. Here just coming to the differences between open loop and closed loop control system. Just here observe, this one is the closed loop, and the next this one is for input is given to the system, directly we get the output, this control system. Here just observe open loop control system and closed loop control system differences. Just observe the differences here. The first point is control action in independent. Control action is independent of the desired output. Here control action is depend of the desired output. Means here for open loop control system, the output has no effect upon the input quantity. Means here there is no feedback is there. Here there is no feedback. Next point is there. Feedback path is not present. So that's why the output is output and input. Both are the independents here. So that's why the control action is independent of the desired output. Means the output is again output is not used to the input in open loop control system, but in closed loop control system output is again used as the input. So that's why this is the dependent, and here this one is the independent. Control action is independent of the desired output and control action is dependent of the desired output. This is the difference of the open loop and closed loop control system. And coming to the second point of just observe here, feedback path is not present in open loop control system. Just open loop control system, just we are going to give the input signal to the any control system, we will get the output based on this control system characteristics. So this is the simple, there is no feedback is there, so that's why the feedback path is not present in open loop control system. And feedback path is present in closed loop control systems. We are giving the input signal to the any control system, again the output is given to the feedback. So feedback element, through the feedback element we are give the feedback signal to the input, the output signal again used as the input. So that's why this is the feedback path is present for the closed loop control system. This is the difference. And here coming to the for non-feedback control systems, we call it as the open loop control systems. Again we call it as the non-feedback control systems. Means here there is no feedback is available in open loop control system, that's why we call it as a non-feedback control systems. Then next here for observe the in closed loop control system, the feedback control system means here the feedback will be available, the feedback is available in closed loop control system, that's why we call it as a feedback control systems. Or else one more name is there for closed loop control system, automatically controlled, automatically controlled system. Automatically controlled system. Here open loop control system, closed loop control system. The open loop control system another name is the non-feedback control system, and closed loop control system another name is automatically controlled system or else feedback control system. Which means the feedback is available in closed loop control system. In open loop control system there is no feedback is present. So here coming to the open loop control system, the easy to design means here we are using the less number of elements compared to the closed loop control system. For design of any open loop control system we are going to use the less number of elements. So that's why the easy of design of closed loop control system is easy, or design of closed loop control system is very easy compared to the open loop control system. So that's why it is here difficult to design. For a closed loop control system design is difficult compared to the open loop control systems. Next coming to the next point is here just observe these are the economical, means open loop control systems are economical, means here we are using the less number of elements and we get the less amount to design the any open loop control system. So that's why open loop control systems are the economical. And coming to the closed loop control systems, these are the costlier, which means we are going to use the more number of elements to design any closed loop control system compared to the open loop control system. So that's why the closed loop control systems are costlier. And next coming to the next point is here just inaccurate, means here the open loop control systems are produced as the inaccurate output, means we are getting the some errors occur, externally errors without our intention we will get the some errors, that is the in the form of noise. So that's why the open loop control systems are produced as the inaccurate outputs. And coming to the closed loop control systems, these closed loop control systems are produced as the accurate outputs. The closed loop control systems are automatically corrected what we are getting the errors. So that errors are automatically corrected by using the closed loop control system by applying the output as to the input through the feedback element. So that's why these closed loop control systems are produced as the accurate outputs. So these are the main differences between the open loop and closed loop control systems. Here and we learn from this session what are the advantages of open loop system and closed loop system, and as well as what are the disadvantages of open loop control system and closed loop control system. Finally, we learn what are the differences between open loop and closed loop control system. All these are learned from this today session. Thank you all.